Now, what was terrible yesterday, if you all saw it, was the Denver Broncos performance once again. And it had me finally realize, y'all, that Russell Wilson's legacy, it is in dire jeopardy, period. See, people dictate your legacy. People vote on the MVP. People vote on the Hall of Fame. People talk about you that dictate your legacy. And people watch your performance. And those people that watch your performance are the ones that create the narrative about you. Well, 68 million people, roughly 20% of the American population, have watched Russell Wilson play 4 primetime games this year. And those people have collectively been disappointed. See, Russell Wilson's legacy, as far as an all-time great, as far as a Hall of Fame player, it was held together by duct tape, if you will. Not scotch, duct tape. And the problem is, if you look at Russell Wilson's career too intently, you might start to see some blemishes. And 68 million people have looked at Russell Wilson's career now and are speaking out on it in a much different light. When I think about Russ and where he is as it stands right now, me, the person, realizes Russ's legacy is taking a huge hit. But Shady, where do you stand on Russell Wilson's legacy? Is it taking a hit?
I disagree with you. I don't think it's taking a hit, right? What, week 6, week 7?
Yes, sir.
We're going to week 7?
We're in week 7.
Okay, so we watched last night. You're right. He didn't play well.
At all?
I will say this. In the beginning of the game, he kind of showed a little bit of the old Russell. That's a little bit, right? We can't let. Now, come on now. I'm going to keep it real.
Keep it real.
I see all these guys tweeting, and everyone wants to be Twitter fingers. Everybody want to tweet about
Nobody tweets like that. You tweet with your thumbs.
Okay, it look good for TV. Everyone want a little tweet. My thing is, like, when he was out there giving you touchdowns, he was cooking up. Everybody loved him.
Touchdown, singular.
All his teammates, his ex-teammates, they want to talk about him. But let's talk about this. When Russell was that guy, he was putting numbers up. He's winning championships.
Yes, sir.
He was balling. He was balling. So I'll say this. I can't let 6 games, right, tell me that, oh, Russell is not a great player. Oh, Russell's not that good. He's this, he's that. I won't let 6 games tell me that.
But doesn't it tell you something that Golden Tate, the latest wide receiver, former teammate of Russell Wilson, to come at Russell Wilson, Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch, at some point it tells you something.
And I'll tell you this. All them guys a lot of them are better than others, right? Golden Tate is a good player, but he's not Marshawn. He's not, and he's not Sherman. Them guys will not have the career, as in wins, and a championship without Russ.
Sure.
That's proven facts.
Sure.
So before you get out there talking bad about him, let's give him his love, because without him, y'all don't win that championship. Come on now.
You on to something.
Chip. Yeah, so.
You on to something. Joy, has Russell's legacy taken a hit?
You know, listening to the two of you, I think it's not that I changed my opinion, but I think I realize what the problem is.
What's the problem?
Because this sort of happens with the Cowboys, too, especially when the Cowboys play well. Woo! Because they are always in prime time.
Yeah, we're watching.
Always.
Oh, we're watching.
And Russ has been so bad, and the Broncos have been so bad, and we have all had to sit there with no other options 4 times and watch that. Yeah. That's adding to this. Let's be honest. If he was in some regular games and we could be a little distracted, like, dang, the Broncos are kind of struggling a little bit. But I was watching my own team over here, so I didn't really pay that much attention. Maybe they'll figure it out. Nope. We all got to sit there together.
That is
the
most Cowboys thing of all time.
And again.
That's real.
It's unfair to us, really. We don't deserve this.
We don't.
We don't deserve this.
What did we do to deserve this?
We got like 2 more coming up, just so you know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think that's part of what's happening here, is that he's playing bad, and we're all having to sit there and watch it time and time again. So it's compounding, and it's becoming more dramatic. I don't think that it's the end of Russell Wilson. Again, I'm still fighting and resisting the idea that he is really this bad. I mean, there are a lot of other things that happened last night that weren't all on Russ.
Wait a second, Joy Taylor. Wait a second. Wait, I got to call one. I got to call one. I got to call one. I've known Joy longer than y'all at the desk.
Challenge flag.
I got to call the timeout. Joy, you're a lot of things, a lot of incredible things in this life. You truly are. But you're not the most gracious individual. You're not the most individual that's just going to let you sit here and lie time after time after time after time. Russell Wilson has lied to you for 6 consecutive weeks, for a month and a half, for 40% of a football season. I don't know this Joy Taylor. The Joy I know would have heard 1 lie from Russ and been out, Shady. The Joy I know would have been like, what's that all it takes? The Joy I know would have been like, nah, this ain't the Russ I knew. This ain't the Russell Wilson that I'm accustomed to. I'm leaving.
Dr. Taylor's being tough, huh?
What Joy is this? And why?
I just think it's too soon to tell. I've seen too much. Russ's reputation, his body of work, and I don't want to bring it back to the Cowboys again, but in similar ways to Dak, is too extensive for me to just assume that after 6 games, he can't play anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to be wrong about this.
I hope you are.
I hope I am, because this is a lot. Now, I will say this, as far as the legacy question goes, this far, yes, it is. And part of it is all the primetime, because we are all watching this, and we had massive expectations. All of which is fair, because he asked out of Seattle. I mean, he is an all-time great player, and he wanted this situation. So it's fair to have expectations. It's fair to be critical. It's fair to lay it all at his feet. He's the star. He's the one making the money. He asked for this. He's the face of the organization. Broncos Nation, let's ride, or whatever it is. He asked for all of this, so it's fair.
That's
but
right.
I just cannot believe that he is this bad.
Dave.
Here's the thing, Joy, and I agree with you in the big picture. Like, I don't think he's this bad either. He's still, I think his legacy is still taking a hit, and it's a testament to how good he was. Like, that's what I keep thinking about is as recently as 2020, it was like Mahomes, Russ, and Rodgers. Like, that was the list. You were like, these 3 are better than everybody else. Now, fast forward to about halfway through 2022. He ain't even sniffing that conversation. It's not even close. That's just a statement of fact. That's not even me being mean. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen has run like 3 laps around Russ in the last 2 years. Then you got the young cats coming up. You got your Burrow. Justin Herbert didn't play amazing last night, but he's in year 3. Russ is 33, 34 years old. Like, he is easily in the back half of his career. Doesn't mean it can't have more good years, but it's a crazy fall to me to say, like, this guy was in the MVP shortlist every year for 4 or 5 years. He was really one of those dudes. And now he's just kind of in that jumble of quarterbacks where you're like, yeah, like, he's good on his day.
Here, Dave.
That's a hell of a fall.
Here's why I think his career's taken the biggest hit, because of, I think, a incorrect statement Dave made. Dave said that Russ is in the back half of his career. I don't think so, 2-5. You 33, 34 years old, you sitting in the seat. But quarterbacks, it's different. Yeah. Remember, at 34 years of age, 35 years of age, correction, Ben Roethlisberger threw for 5,000 yards for the first time in his career. At 35, 36 years of age, Matthew Stafford finally won a Super Bowl.
That's right.
At 37, 38 years of age, Aaron Rodgers, MVP. At 40, Tom Brady won an MVP, won a Super Bowl at 40, won a Super Bowl at like 42.
Most yards, most touchdowns, yeah.
So I think
that's even more damning.
The real problem is Russell Wilson, based upon inflation of quarterbacks, is actually in the prime of his career, you could argue, and is catching L's. I'm looking at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning went to Denver at 36 and really solidified even more so his greatness by what he did with the most highly prolific offense in his career when he was in Denver. Right. So Russ is in the prime of his career, I would suggest, and he's having the worst performances he's had. Shady, I need you to talk to me because you played at the highest level here. I need you to break down just the whole legacy of Russ.
Well, I mean, we can't take away from what he did in Seattle, right? So that's right here. Boom.
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of this.
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and a small part that he's playing bad.
Talk to me.
Is in Denver. So I'm not going to use or take 6 games and say, oh, this guy's trash.
Don't do that.
He's not a great player.
Sure.
I would say he's probably what? The best offensive player that Seattle's ever had?
We could argue.
So
we could argue.
This is my thing. Maybe it's not going to click right now. Maybe it's not clicking for the first 6 games, first 8 games, first 10 games. Maybe it don't click this year. But let's say next year he gets it together and he gets rolling again. They gave him a big contract, not say, hey, you got to win in this year. No, they didn't say that. They said, we're going to give you a 4 or 5 year deal. We want to compete for some championships. We're going to be in the playoffs and et cetera. And he still can accomplish that. So before we write him off, let's give him his respect.
And I'm not.
He's struggling. I've been in a slump before. Everybody goes through slumps.
Not this bad. You were never this bad.
Man, but people go through slumps.
Sure.
Okay.
Were you this bad?
Were you this
bad? Were you this bad?
I mean, I never really was like bad, right? It's probably like bad coaches and stuff like that. But hold on real quick. Last year, right?
Yeah.
When the Chiefs were struggling, Mahomes was struggling, right? The first couple of games.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on with the offense, this and that, third? What did he do? He took a second, right, and started going back to the fundamentals. Check down. Small thing. Yep. Now, Patrick Mahomes is better than Russ, for sure.
Of course.
I'm just saying guys go through slumps. You can get out the slump.
I hope you're right.
You never been in a slump before?
Yeah, I think every.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Fair to say journalistic. It's called writer's block.
Quite
a few. It's called a writer's block.
They had 130 yards in the first 2 possessions last night.
And then what happened?
Then they had 128 yards on their next 9 possessions. That's not. That's my point. Is like you're right. it's possible to go through a slump.
Bad slump.
We've almost played half the season. Like week 3, I was not worried. Even week 4, but now like it's into week 7. He's got another injury, by the way. Apparently, he's got a hamstring now. So like he ain't 100%. Is it going to get better? I'm not confident it's going to get better.
To me, Joy.
I think what's troubling to me is it'd be one thing if they're having to overcome the defense letting every team score 35 points.
Right.
Or it's a bunch of wide receivers that we don't know what they could be or what kind of talent they have. Now, the offensive line is a different conversation.
That matters too, yeah.
My issue is that Russ himself looks bad.
Thank you.
It's not just the whole of the team. Like, there are a lot of things you could point to that they had injuries, they had a ton of penalties. I think the coaching is certainly in question. There's a lot of things that you can point to. But Russ himself looking bad, taking these terrible sacks, looking like he's not confident, weird throws. Like, he's supposed to be the catalyst of this. If you're the same as we were last year, what does that mean for you? That's more about that's more of what my issue is. I'm not writing him off yet. Again, I still think it's too early. I still think that there's time, especially, and I don't want to talk about next year or the year after. A million things, a million factors could change.
Of course.
And every single year is different. But for this particular year, what scares me is that Russ himself looks bad.
I hate when they do this to a lot of the best players. Soon they have a bad moment, he's done. For example, right? Would you guys say that Geno Smith is a top 5 quarterback right now?
No.
But he's playing like it, right? You see what I'm saying? So they got to be used both ways.
Here's my thing. I don't see an escape for Russell Wilson this season for this reason. Russell Wilson's not getting relief. Jerry Jeudy's on the field. KJ Hamler's on the field. The running back you have this year, Melvin Gordon, he's on the field. If it was Tom Brady, I'd be like, well, you know what? Julio Jones, waiting on him to come back. Chris Godwin, not fully healthy. Mike Evans, he got suspended for a game. I could see relief coming for Tom Brady. But Russ, the hands you have, the cards you have, they're already in your hand. So the reason I don't have the same optimism is because I'm like, hey, I don't see the relief coming soon. Russ, if you want the relief, you're going to have to provide it yourself.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.